how I made $48,000 in 1 month as a real estate private money lender. I did this in April 2025, and I'm going to show you all the proof in the world so that you can see exactly how I did it. After I get done showing you some proof of my HUD statements from closings in April, I'm going to talk about the structure of my investment fund, Zip Capital. I'm going to talk about how I attract investors and raise capital. It's really similar to getting clients for my bookkeeping business. And then I'm going to talk about managing risk and how I diversify my portfolio, doing a bunch of small loans, more work, but less risk. And then I'm going to talk about the long term vision of my investment fund, Zip Capital. So if you can see there on the board behind me, I've raised $358,000 in Zip Capital of other people's money. And I have about $1 million of my own money lent out. My goal is to raise $5 million in Zip Capital. I'm going live every day until I do exactly that. So I think this is live number 12. I've been going live Monday through Friday, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in. If you want to learn about private money lending for real estate investors, and if you want to learn a little bit about bookkeeping, watch these videos because I'm going live. I'm telling you exactly what I've done and how I've done it. Okay. As promised, let me just jump right into it. Let me show you the proof of the money that I made in April 2025 private money lending. Are you ready? Let me pull up. These are called HUD statements. And I've purposely blacked out, white out, blocked some information. So you can't really see all the information, but here we go. Here is, let me make this full screen. Okay, perfect. So I lend from Zip Capital, and then I do this thing called loan consulting. So I connect borrower to lender. So I have been networking with high net worth individuals, people that have 100,000, 500,000, $1 million of cash sitting in a savings account. And so I've been connecting lender and borrower. So let me just be clear before I get too far into this. I was lending with my own money for 2 years. I did about 15 private money loans with my own money before I started doing this. So I'm not necessarily recommending that anybody do this. I'm simply just documenting my journey. I'm documenting what I've done. I'm sharing my experience. So I'm going to show you about 7 or 8 loans that closed. And these aren't all of the, let me just explain. So this is one loan. So you can see here on the screen, your adjusted origination charge, $2,000, and then processing fee, $200. So for this particular loan, I made $2,200. And this was a loan that I lent, somebody else lent on it. I did all the processing and underwriting. Okay, here's another one where I've talked about this before. My processing fee, underwriting fee, origination fee. So once again, this is another loan that somebody else lent on. So I didn't actually give any of my own money. I just did all the paperwork and processing and underwriting. I found the borrower, I found the lender. You can see here, origination fee to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, $1,200, which was 2% of the loan. So it was a $60,000 loan. And then underwriting fee to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, $1,500. And then I think, do we have the date? Yes, we have the date all the way down here. Some of them have the date, some of them don't, but you can see there, April 9th, 2025. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see, what else do we have? So here we have, so this is March. I know I said April, but I received the money in April. So bear with me, okay? I'm not perfect, but I received the money in April. So here you can see origination charge to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, $2,462. Processing fee to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, $450. Okay, here's another one. I think we have the date down here. Another one at the end of March. Like I said, I received the money in April. I run my books on a cash basis. So whenever I receive the money is when I recognize the income. Loan origination fee to Harrisburg Keeping, $5,400. This was, I got 3%. So I think this was a $180,000 loan of somebody else's money. Processing fee to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, $450. Next one here. This one is one that I actually lent on myself. So I gave the money for this one through Zip Capital, and I charged 3%, so $4,950. Earned income in the month of April. Underwriting fee, $750. Processing fee, $450. There's no date on this page, but these all happened. This is all money received in April. Here's another one. There's the date, Zip Capital, origination fee, $3,900, processing fee, $450. Let's see, there's one more, another one, Zip Capital. We have the date right here, 425. And if we scroll up here, we have this is another loan that Zip Capital did. We have the loan origination fee, 4,200, underwriting fee, 1,500, processing fee, 995. And this is the last one. We have here settlement date, April 7th. So this is April. And then here we have origination fee to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, 2,400, and loan documentation fee to Harrisburg Bookkeeping, 200. So I don't know what that adds up to. Maybe that adds up to about $30,000. But then as a private money lender, I'm also earning monthly interest. So at this point, I had about $1.3 million lent out. So I made about $13,000 that month in collected interest. And then there were a few other loans that I made money on. Here's what I did. So I didn't do all the underwriting, but I did the marketing. So I found the borrowers and then I simply referred them to another private money lender and he paid me 1%. So I did that with about 3 loans that all closed in April. And one of the loans was a $600,000 loan and a couple other loans were small, like $100,000. So I made about $6, $7, maybe $8,000 by referring 3 other loans to other private money lenders. So there's 3 ways that you can make money as a private money lender. You can lend your own money, you can lend other people's money, or you could simply refer these loans to another lender. And so by lending your own money and by doing all the work, like that's the most work, but that's also the highest. You're going to get the most money, but you're doing the most work. You have the most money. You make the most money. The middle ground is to lend somebody else's money, but you still do all the work. You can make almost just as much money because you make the processing fee and the underwriting fee and the loan doc prep fee and the origination fee, but you don't make the 12% annual interest. But you can basically do an unlimited number of loans as long as you have lenders who have money, who have enough money to do these loans. They make 12%. They have first lien. They have a secured mortgage. They hold the promissory note. They hold the mortgage. And you do all the work. You do all the processing. You do all the underwriting fee. The hard part is finding these lenders. It's easy to find borrowers, but the hard part is finding lenders. So, and then the third option is just to network with other private money lenders who have excess capital, who have excess funds, and then you can simply refer borrowers over to them. And then hopefully you set up a relationship where you can get a percentage or a flat fee, like a marketing fee or a percent for the origination fee. So that's what I did. 3 different types. I did all 3 in April of 2025, and I checked back from between Harrisburg Bookkeeping, loan consulting and processing, and Zip Capital, and interest earned made $48,000 in April. Now that was an anomaly. That was a really good month. Right now, I'm probably averaging $15,000 to $20,000 per month through originating loans and loan consulting and referring loans and interest income. So April was definitely an anomaly. Hopefully, I can get to that point where I'm consistently making $30,000 or $40,000 per month. But right now, probably consistently making $15,000 to $20,000 per month. Okay, now let's get into, so that was just the proof. I just knew that I would get a lot of questions about how did you actually make $48,000? So I didn't add up all those numbers, but I think, like I said, all of that adds up to about $25,000 or $30,000. And then the other money came from interest income and came from referring loans to other private money lenders. So I don't actually have the HUDs from those. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of my investment fund, Zip Capital, because that's probably a good reason why you're watching this video, Zip Capital. So I started Zip Capital because I ran out of money. So I was doing these private money loans and I used up all of my money. And so I needed to get other people's money. And so I started doing this thing, like I said, where I would connect lender to borrower, but it just wasn't scalable. It wasn't really, and it's a lot of work because I have to manage both people. I have to manage the borrower, manage the lender. I have to make sure the borrower sends the lender monthly interest. I have to help facilitate the loan. If anything goes wrong at the end of the loan, I have to do all this work. which is fine. I don't mind doing it, but it's just not scalable. It's a lot to manage. I'm constantly changing the lender name on all of my documents, and it's just a pain to keep track of everything. So I started doing that back in 2024, and that was fine. That worked. That gave me a lot of great experience, and I did it a couple times, and I'm still doing it now with a couple guys. But it's just I'm not doing it anymore with any new people. It's just not scalable. So I decided to reach out to a couple banks and some credit cards. And I thought maybe if I could get loans from banks, then I could use bank money to lend out. But then you really need to have an asset. You really need to get a secured line of credit or a secured loan from a bank. And so I don't really have any assets other than my notes receivable. But banks don't want to lend you on your loans because I'm basically operating like a bank. So it wouldn't make sense for a bank to lend to me because I'm also lending to other people. It just doesn't really work like that. You need accounts receivable from customers, or you need real estate, or you need something. You need a valuation of a business. Like you need something to put up as collateral. And I just don't really have that. I have a bunch of notes receivable, but I don't really have anything that I can use as collateral that the bank would give me a line of credit on. And then I tried to get credit cards. I tried to do credit card hacking, and that worked okay. I got like 20,000 here, 30,000 there. Long story short, none of that was working. None of that was scalable. It was all just a temporary fix to my real problem. My real problem is that I needed to raise capital. And the only real solution to that is to start a Regulation D, 506C, SEC compliant investment fund. And so that's what I did some research, reached out to an attorney over in Ohio, spent $12,000 on my private placement memorandum, operating agreement, and my subscription documents. And so I have an SEC compliant Regulation D 506C investment fund only open to accredited investors, which means you have to have $25,000, or the $25,000 is the minimum. You have to have a $1 million net worth or $200,000 of annual income if you're single, 300K if you're married. So that's how my investment fund is structured. So the whole idea behind making these videos, let's just say 100 people watch these videos. I genuinely want to teach 99 of you how to do private money lending. If 99 of you learn how to do private money lending and make $48,000 in 1 month, make 12% annual interest income on your cash, that's amazing. But my hope is that 1% of you watching this video decide to invest into my fund. That's why I'm making these videos. I love teaching, but I also want to raise money in my investment fund. So I'll be totally transparent with you. The majority of what I talk about will hopefully be teaching, but I will throw in a couple sales pitches on potentially investing into my fund. So let's talk about how I'm attracting investors so that I can raise capital legally. So got the fund set up. It's a 506C fund, so I can publicly solicit. I can publicly advertise. There's a 506B fund that you can start. I didn't do that. You cannot publicly advertise, but you can take on non-accredited investors. So there's pros and cons. No advertising, but anyone can do it. Yes, advertising, only accredited investors can do it. So I have a 506C, so only accredited investors can do it, but I can advertise. And I've basically been doing the exact same thing that I've been doing with my, what do you call it? My bookkeeping business, basically doing the exact same thing. And by the way, if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to drop a comment in the chat, and I will do my best at the end of this live to go over any questions or any comments. So how I'm attracting investors, it's really cool actually, because so I teach people how to start a bookkeeping business. I'm still doing that. And so I have weekly calls every Monday at 3 p.m. There's a group of other bookkeepers. There's 40 people in the group, and typically 15 to 20 people show up every Monday at 3 p.m. It's a live group call just like this, except it's like a live Q&A. Costs $49 per month, and I've got 40 people in the group. And so it's been really, really cool because I am starting all over again. And so it's super relatable. I feel like I can relate to everybody trying to start a bookkeeping business because I'm trying to start an investment fund. And so I'm back at ground zero. I'm back at square one. I'm creating content. I'm connecting with potential clients. I'm engaging with my community. I'm sending sales pitches. I'm doing everything to raise capital in Zip Capital, in my investment fund. I'm doing everything that I did 5 years ago with Harrisburg Bookkeeping, trying to get bookkeeping clients. And it's been so much fun because For the past 2 years, I haven't done a ton of marketing. For the past 2 years, I've been teaching other people how to do marketing, and I kind of felt out of touch with reality. I kind of felt like I haven't been practicing what I've been teaching. And so now it's been so much fun to be out there, put myself out there, to be grinding with everybody else. Like I am experiencing, if you're trying to start a bookkeeping business or any business for that matter, I am experiencing exactly what you're going through right now. I'm in the trenches. I'm on social media. I'm sending DMs. I'm doing networking events. I'm taking client calls. I'm setting up meetings. I'm doing everything that you are probably doing to grow your bookkeeping business, but I'm not growing a bookkeeping business. I'm growing Zip Capital. I'm growing an investment fund. Something that I recently started doing that has been amazing. And when I say recently, I literally started on Wednesday. I just recently started with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I feel like a total noob because I never used it for my bookkeeping business. And it's a game changer. It's really powerful. I've probably sent about 500 to 700 messages on LinkedIn Sales Navigator in the last 72 hours, and I probably got about 10 responses, 10 positive responses. A ton of people said no thanks, but about 10 people said, yes, I'm interested, which is amazing. That is incredible to get 10 new people interested in my fund in 72 hours just by sending DMs on LinkedIn is unbelievable. So if you're trying to start a bookkeeping business or any business, maybe consider LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I've never tried it before, but I'm trying it this week. And so far I've had really great success. I really like it. So let me know in the comments or let me know in the chat if you are trying it because I'm trying it and I think it's going well so far. So it's been a lot of fun. Quick story. Yesterday, I had the CFO of a Fortune 500 company respond to my message. And he said, I've got some extra cash. Tell me more. Just what an amazing opportunity. So all of the sales and marketing that I'm doing, all the sales and marketing that you're doing, there's not instant gratification. It's not going to start working immediately. If you do a ton of sales and marketing for the next 30 days, it might not work, but you're planting seeds. Perfect analogy. I compare it a lot to working out or going on a diet. If you go to the gym in the first 2 weeks, you're probably going to be tired, sore. You might feel weaker than you did before you got started. But if you keep going to the gym, you're going to build up your muscles and you're going to eventually get stronger or faster or lose weight, whatever your goals are. Same concept. If you plant a garden, you're going to have to till the soil. You're going to have to plant seeds. You're going to have to fertilize it. You're going to have to water it. You're going to have to weed the garden. For the first month, it's going to be like, this is so much work. I've got no fruits. I've got no vegetables. This is pointless. But then 60 days, 90 days, a year, 2 years go by. You have developed the skills. Now you know how to work out. Now you know how to garden. You've developed the skills and you're literally going to bear the fruit of your garden. And it's the exact same concept with sales and marketing. First 30 days, nothing. 60 days, maybe something. 90 days, hopefully you've got some traction. Hopefully you've got some interested prospects. 1 year, 2 year, 3 years down the road, you've built your brand, you've established your reputation, you've built up an online presence, and you've learned how to do it. That skill is invaluable. I'm living, breathing proof. Like I learned the skill of marketing and sales. And by the way, I'm not a sales guru or a marketing expert by any means, but I learned basic skills of social media marketing and online marketing and sales through growing my bookkeeping business. And now I'm able to take those skills and I'm able to grow my investment fund, which is just kind of like leveling up. But I have the basic foundation. I've got the basic skills to know how to do it. The other thing that's cool about sales. So I forgot about this for the first 6 months because I didn't do a ton of DMs. But here's what I've realized, and maybe you'll feel the same way, but sending DMs is an adrenaline rush because holy crap, I'm putting myself out there. This is embarrassing, awkward, scary. What if they hate me? What if I get a bad review? What if they say something mean about me? What if they tell my friends and family about what I'm doing? All of this stuff is like an adrenaline rush. But then you send out 100 messages, 95 of them ignore you, 4 of them say no thanks. But then that one person says, hey, yeah, I'm interested. Like, let's meet. Hey, yeah, that sounds good. Tell me more. Hey, yeah, let's do it. All it takes is one person. And then all of a sudden, it's Like, I'm addicted to DMing people on social media, and I haven't done it in 3 years. I took off like 2 or 3 years from doing it because I grew my bookkeeping business to the point where I didn't really need to send DMs anymore. And I just realized that I don't know what it is. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it's literally an adrenaline rush. It's literally an addiction. Like right now, I'm addicted to sending these DMs because of just like that unknown, because of the potential to get a response. So if you're trying to grow your business, if you've never tried this before, you have to try it. It's going to feel scary. It's going to be awkward. But once you get a reply, it's the greatest feeling of all time. I'm addicted to sending DMs because I'm addicted to that dopamine rush of getting the response. And so here's what's been really cool. So throughout my day, I'm pretty busy, but throughout my day, it's a reward for me to get to log into Facebook or LinkedIn and to send my DMs. So I have a list of tasks that I need to get done, whether it's creating content or doing bookkeeping or processing loans, going to the gym, whatever it is during the day. So I need to get those tasks done so that I can reward myself and go send some DMs and possibly get a new client. So I've been almost kind of using it like a work and reward system of like, get my work done first, and then you can log into LinkedIn and then you can send some messages and have some conversations. So if you haven't tried it yet, definitely recommend try sending DMs on LinkedIn or Facebook. Okay, so as a private money lender, let's talk about managing risk. Okay, so I talked about underwriting and documents and attorneys and mitigating risk. Like I talked about all of that, but let me talk about something that I haven't really touched on. That's diversification. So if you have, it's kind of hard. If you only have $25,000, it's kind of hard. But if you want to get into private money lending, you want to be able to diversify anything really, any investing, you should probably diversify. At least that's what I did. So whenever I diversify, what I mean by that is if you have $100,000, maybe consider doing two $50,000 loans or four $25,000 loans. For me, I have about $2 million. And so right now it's all spread out between 15 different loans. Here's the catch, the pros and the cons. It's a lot more work. Of course, it would be amazing. I could do one loan, lend out $2 million, and then just chill for the next 12 months. I could literally do no more work, lend out $2 million all at once, all done. Very little work, much riskier, much riskier. Instead, do 10 or 15 smaller loans, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 loans. Do 10 or 15 of those. More work, not terrible, but more work, but much less risky because maybe one or two borrowers default. That's probably not going to happen. That's never happened before, by the way. I've done 37 loans, 0 defaults, 0 foreclosures. But let's just say one borrower defaults out of 15, I can still get the majority of my money back. If I do one loan and one borrower defaults, I have to wait. I'm not going to lose all my money, but I have to wait 12 months to go through the foreclosure process, get the property back, and sell the property, and then get my money back. So diversify by doing many small loans if you want to do private money lending. More work, but less risk. Okay. I'm going to get to the questions in the comments in a second. So if you haven't already, drop a comment, drop a question. I'll do whatever I can to answer your comments and questions. Okay, last thing, my long-term vision. So I want to raise $5 million. Like I said, check out the script, check out the board, $358,000. I want to raise $5 million in Zip Capital. And I'm going to do that by going live every day on YouTube, creating content on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. All of my social medias are linked in the description of this video. Check that out and follow me if you haven't already. And you can also register on my website to learn more about Zip Capital. So if you register on my website, I'll give you a call. We can chat about Zip Capital. So the long-term vision, $5 million. And I want to do that in 2025. It's a big goal. I got 6 months to do it. At this point, yes, 6 months to do it, $5 million. Earning passive income. So I am actively working on lending. It is active, but it's more passive than bookkeeping. So passive income while actively lending $5 million. And then finally, just having a community impact. So I'm only lending on Pennsylvania real estate. I live in Pennsylvania, and it's been really cool. I just lent on a property less than a mile away from my house. And so what a cool opportunity as a private money lender to positively impact my community. That's my long-term vision. Okay, we got a couple minutes left. Let's check out the questions in the comments. Okay, your real estate investing bookkeeping videos talk about class tracking. Is there a specific reason you use class tracking instead of projects or location tracking? I think locations and class tracking is pretty much the same thing, but I'm not a fan of projects. I just feel like projects are a little bit clunkier. You have to projects need to be associated with customers. So I like class tracking a lot more than project tracking. Are class tracking and project tracking interchangeable, or does class tracking have specific advantages? I don't think so. You can run a P&L by project and a P&L by class. I don't think there are advantages. I've just always done class tracking. It's the same subscription. You need QuickBooks Plus to have projects or class tracking. It's the same amount of money, so I just like class tracking. How much do you pay for LinkedIn Sales Now? I think it's $80 for LinkedIn Sales Navigator, $80 per month. Stay tuned. I'll let you know how it goes. So far, I'm in love with it, so I love it. Were those LinkedIn DMs warm or cold leads? That's an amazing result if they were cold leads. So they're all people who I'm connected with on LinkedIn. So I guess you could call that a cold lead. I think maybe that's warm. Maybe that's warm because we're already connected on LinkedIn. So yeah, I don't send any DMs to anybody who's not my Facebook friend or Instagram follower or LinkedIn connection, because my sales I don't do cold sales, like traditional, like hardcore cold sales, like calling somebody who's never heard of me before, because I spend a lot of time marketing. So I want my marketing to work first. It's a long-term strategy. So I connect with people on LinkedIn and Facebook. I create content every day. I engage with their posts, and then I wait 30 days, and then they see my stuff. I engage with them. They know I'm a real person, and they know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm doing. They watch my videos, and then I send them a DM. I think that's really, really important. I don't send DMs to people who I'm not connected with. What's your workout split in the gym? Great question. Right now, I'm trying to squat 500 pounds. So I'm currently at 485. I just pulled a muscle in my lower abdomen back in February. So I'm nursing a lower abdomen tear. So I haven't really been able to squat super heavy for the past 3 months, but last week I just hit 425 for a single. So right now I'm squatting 3 days a week, keeping it relatively light, not going above 365. I'm just trying to nurse my pulled muscle back to full health, and then I'm going to try to hit 500. So I strength train 4 days a week, and I do cardio twice a week. So I just did the stair stepper for 40 minutes. I love the stair stepper. Throw in a podcast, listen to a podcast, and go on the stair stepper for 40 minutes. Great cardio. Absolutely love it. And then I just lift the other days. I've watched a lot of your videos, and I think one of your superpowers is consistency. You do the boring work every single day. You seriously never stop. Johnny, I appreciate that. It's just like fitness. It's like anything in life. So I talk a lot about this difference between easy and hard, simple and complex. I don't like to operate in a complex world. I like to keep things extremely simple. It's always been my MO. Keep things simple. Like social media marketing, just make a post. My sales pitch, super simple. My YouTube strategy, hello, like I don't edit my videos. I just keep things simple. But then I also operate in this hard environment. So easy and simple, things that are easy and simple, like everybody does that. Like eating junk food is easy. Like everybody eats junk food, but not going to the gym is easy. But eating healthy, going to the gym, planting a garden, finishing college, starting a business, being consistent, that's hard. All of those things are hard. So if you're going to do hard things, you have to keep them simple. If you're going to succeed at doing hard things, I think you have to simplify it. And so I simplify it, but then I make it hard by doing it every day. I think that makes sense. Okay, a couple more things. I struggle with consistency. I'm super inconsistent with my Facebook marketing. When I have a busy day, it's the first thing to go. Do you have any tips or tricks behind your incredible consistency? Prioritize it. You're not doing it because you're not prioritizing it. I guarantee you there's enough hours in your day. Everybody has the same number of hours. There are enough hours in your day. You're just not prioritizing it. So I like to send myself emails. So you can send yourself a recurring email. So if you struggle with it, pick a time, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., every day at 9 a.m., schedule an email to yourself and say social media marketing. So every day at 9 a.m., stop what you're doing and create marketing content. Or you can batch work. I've never done that before, but you can batch work, and maybe every Saturday or every Thursday, spend 4 hours and create content for the next 14 days. And that way you have all your content created in one day. I've never done that before, but I know a lot of people do that. You just need to prioritize it. Let's see. You have to systematize your time. For example, get a dedicated time each day. Boom. Steele, I didn't even see your chat, your comment, but you and I are on the same page, Steele. All right. That's it for today. Day number 12, going live every day until I raise $5 million. To the 15 people of you that are watching right now, thank you so much. I would not be doing this if it weren't for you. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to learn about bookkeeping and private money lending, watch my videos. Show up Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be here. I hope to see you too. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you later.